Good morning, everybody. This is Vincent Meza. This is Listings to Leads, and this is our class about how to get more listings with our platform. And welcome, Julie from Eau Claire, Wisconsin. It must be getting chilly up there. So as we look at the website here, there are a lot of tools here to help you get buyer and seller leads with or without listings. Now, I think listings can help a lot, but you can also borrow listings and get a lot of great tools. And we're going to talk about that. I'm going to point out where you can borrow and what works out. There's a lot to cover on this call. And I want to make sure everybody's aware we're recording this and you're probably going to want to look at this. I would recommend that you look at this a couple of times. Okay. Now, feel free to let me know where you're from, how long you've been with us. There's a bunch of people on the call today. Also, if you have questions, put them in the chat panel whenever you want. Every once in a while, I take a breath and I'll answer those questions. So before we get into the actual content of today's call, I want to let everybody know where their resources are for you. I think one of our most powerful resources for our clients to understand our platform is our YouTube channel. So I am going to send this to you all right now. And it should be blinking in your GoToMeeting chat panel. And I want to talk about what I think you need to really definitely look at. Facebook and Google ads for buyers and sellers. It's specifically only about Facebook and Google, right? This class is about all the ways to get listing leads, and Facebook and Google are part of that. Okay. This is Get Started. So if you're new to us, I recommend you watch this third video, Get Started. Now, Scott's got a couple things going on in here that I definitely think you should look at, especially over the holidays. And that is our 8-part webinar series of how to make $250,000 in real estate. It's a really thorough discussion of real estate marketing in 8 classes. Okay. And obviously it's going to tell you where listings to leads dovetails in at certain points, right? There's certain tools for certain actions, but you're essentially a business, right? You as a realtor or an independent business, you need to have a real marketing strategy for any business. You could be selling lemonade. Well, maybe lemonade's pretty easy, but cars, beds, eyelashes, whatever, homes. That 8-part course there is really a serious discussion of overall marketing in general for all realtors. So I definitely recommend you check out that. My 3 classes are always the nuts and bolts of what's going on. And then Scott's been doing something lately where I thought I saw it. Yeah, up here. We're doing video scripts. We call them short form video scripts. And Scott's actually recorded one here. So, this isn't exactly to do with like how to get listing leads, but that particular one is a video for realtors to create themselves to talk about it's time to sell your home. Okay. So the point of this is I sent this link to you to this page. If you find us on listingstoleads.com and get our listings to leads on YouTube, go to the videos page. You'll see all this. Everything we do, we record and we put it here just like this call. So this is another great tool. If you're watching this on a recording, or if you guys haven't seen it yourself, it's leadgenwebinars.com. Since you're on this call, I am going to send it to you right now. So this one is going to everybody. And this is the calls that we're talking about, right? So when I'm pointing out the YouTube channel, these are all of the calls that we do and we repeat them. So if you want to be on the live call like you are right now, because you like to ask questions, well, then live calls are going to do it, right? If our schedule doesn't meet yours, a recorded version is going to help. Another great resource for you to understand our platform is our mastermind group. It is a private group on Facebook. And if you're not in it, you won't be able to find it. So to get in it, you go into your listings to leads account, you go down to support, and right here in this box, you just say, hey, please add me to the mastermind group, and they will get you in. Okay. But this is a great place because this is where this is where Scott and I talk about what's coming down, what we're about to launch. We're adding new tools almost every week. And then there's also questions like this one from Amy, right? Which is a good question. What specific day of the week should I run their ads? I'm assuming she's talking about Facebook, and they have yeah. I did a video 3 days ago and I answered the question. Yeah. And so you can put your questions here. A lot of clients will put in like this guy saying, this is what I did. Here are my results. So if you want to learn about what's happening, how people are using it, this is a great place. Kevin, can you use listings to lead with our own domain? I think there's a way where you can put your domain in front of ours. So that might help. I would ping support on that, Kevin. Yeah, it's probably somewhere in your profile. I think that's a new feature we added this year. But while we're here in the mastermind group, there are some things that I want to bring up. So if you're going to write anything down, you might want to write these 3 names down. And I do really recommend it because if your goal is to get more listings, you're going to want to see what these 3 people have said. So I'm going to click on the magnifying glass here, and there are 3 names. I'm not going to, Chris Winstead, Dustin Fox, and Alicia Pless. Now I'm going to blast through them really quickly, but you'll be able to look at them on your own. I'm going to go to Terry Cox because this is a question that Terry asked in the mastermind group a couple of years ago. And she says, who here generates 2 listings per month strictly from listings to leads? And what do you attribute it to exactly? This is kind of a new client that we didn't even know. She just came in here and asked the group like, hey, what's working? I don't even know if she's a client anymore because just the vibe straight off the bat was like, I don't want to do anything unless it's just one thing. And anyway, Dustin Fox says we average 2 listings from each marketed listing, all from L to L tools. Okay. So that wasn't exactly the answer she was looking for, but it's a pretty good answer. And one that I want to bring up to all of you here, which is what he's saying is every time he markets a listing, he gets 2 more listings. And he's trying to get that to above 3. Now that's Dustin Fox. And Dustin, I can tell you at that point was a rookie agent, probably 2 or 3 years in the business. I sold their office, Pearson Smith, years ago. And when I set that office up, he had been a new agent for 2 years and he was doing 5 million in production. Okay. Annual production. Then I rolled out our platform to his office. He took a few classes like this one. 2 years later, he was doing 20 million and he got on a call with us to say, yeah, I want to do this call with you because I was a rookie doing 5 million and now I'm doing 20 million and 80% of my business is coming from your tools. And I was kind of floored. I was like, what? I was like, how much time do you put in this system? And he says, oh, I do 2 hours a week. I take my daughter to ballet. I go next door to Starbucks. I whip out my laptop and I work for 2 hours doing all the things. And that's how I went from 5 to 20 in 2 years. This is where I first learned of Dustin. It was in 2018 when he says, hey, everybody, our highest ROI is when I take the nearby homeowner letter that you guys automatically create and I put it in an envelope with my little 1-page calendar and I mail it first class to 250 homes. He even made a little Zillow review out of Canva and he mails it to 250 homes first class and he pulls 10 listings with an average commission of $17,000. This guy went from being a rookie to somebody doing 20 million 2 years later. He's also, when I sold the office, it was 300 agents. It's now 600, and he is a star of that office. I mentioned this other name, Alicia Pless. She also responded to this. She has been a longtime user of us. You should actually look at her name. What you're going to find out is that Alicia realized, let's see if it's inside here. She knew what I was teaching years ago. Like if you're going to mail that nearby homeowner letter, make sure it looks kind of custom. Okay. Now I'm going to pull up the last one. Custom, make it easy for you. Make sure it's a bright, colorful envelope. Now, Chris Winstead uses the same nearby homeowner letter. We're going to look at that tool in just a minute. This guy moved from whatever part of the country to Texas 2 years ago and moved with his wife and kids. And bought a house in this nice neighborhood and thought, I want to be the man in that neighborhood. So I'm going to start kind of doing my thing. And he comes in here and says, hey, I got 5 listings in 3 months from your tool, from one tool. Okay. And it is the nearby homeowner letter, right? And he says, yeah, I mail it every 2 weeks to my neighbors who've owned their homes for 5 years or more. He bought that list of those homeowners from Remind. Okay. There are other ways to get it, but that's what he did. Once they opt in on the home valuation, so this letter that I'm going to show you has a home value link in it. I hit them up every week with phone calls, bomb messages, letters via mail, and letters left at the door. That is all real work, right? So I'm not trying to blow smoke at you. There's real work involved if you want real listings. That's what this guy wanted. And that right there is the simplest recipe I can see for getting it. Fast forward to the beginning of this year, and this guy not only becomes a top producer in his office, he starts his own office. And the very first thing he does, as you can see here, is starts teaching people, here's how I make money with listings to leads. And he basically starts talking about how he customizes our valuation tools, right? So let's get into it. That's the mastermind group. You're going to learn a lot there. I give you the names that I think you should look at. Let's get into my account and let's go right over to listings. So when Dustin Fox says every time we market a listing, I get 2 to 3 more listings, it's really kind of, we'll look at it right now. I'll show you how he's doing it. He's doing it the same way that Chris Winstead do it. They're leaning on. So if you're not following, we clicked on listings. I clicked on market listing. You can do it for any listing. I want to remind everybody or let you know, in case you don't know, you should be making sure that you are updating your status right here. Because I don't honestly know if your MLS is doing it. Oh, Kevin's got a question. Do we have an affiliate marketing program or an affiliate program? It's on your profile. There'll be a link there when you go to your profile. So here, you see all the statuses. And, I would love to tell you that every MLS communicates effectively with us, but they don't. So you want to make sure and take advantage of the later stage statuses, because anything from under contract, under deposit, pending, or sold, these are all going to be offering call to actions that get you home values. Okay. If it's just listed, active, or coming soon, or open house, we're looking for buyers. When it's later stage, we're looking for sellers. So if you want sellers, make sure you are updating this. And I'm going to kind of give you a pro tip later on about pending or under contract, because that's a really good way of getting later home values for cheap. But let's look at this one here, market listing. It's for sale. And the tool that I'm talking about when I'm talking about this guy and Dustin Fox and Alicia Pless, it's our number one tool for getting listing leads that turn into listing contracts, right? The point of this call is, how do I get more listings? How do I get more listing leads? I'm going to show you a lot of ways, but what I'm about to show you here, which is the nearby homeowner letter, it's not like a Facebook ad that generates 10 or 20 leads. It generates like 3 or 4 or 5, but these leads convert the fastest into an actual contract, right? So collecting leads is fun. Our clients really get excited. We're excited to be able to help them do that. They're kind of blown away by the volume of leads they can capture with us. Jason, I'm going to answer that question of yours in just a minute. I just want to finish this thought. But this letter is, it's a really straightforward tool. There's no algorithms or artificial intelligence. It says, hey, we're selling a home in your area. Maybe we just listed it. Maybe it's open house on the top half. Maybe we just sold a home in your area. Go check it out on that first web link. That's going to affect your home value on the bottom half of the page. Go here and go get your free home value, right? Now you recognize this kind of page probably, like, what is your homework, right? A lot of agents have been using this. You can run an ads and stuff like that. Agents have been running ads for years, and it is sometimes effective, sometimes not effective. But when you mail the letter to people in the neighborhood, and like Chris did, which they have 5 years equity, it becomes really effective. Okay. So a lot of people door knock this. Even before COVID, nobody answered the door if they didn't know you back then. They're not going to answer it now, but you leave it behind. You'd be surprised that you're going to have leads probably by the time you get back in your car, because somebody's going to open the door after you left, take that and go, oh yeah, I am curious about my home value. And there you go. So that letter can be used just listed, open house, pending or sold, right? Any status. And the thing about that is a lot of our clients, including the ones like Dustin, they use it maybe 2 or 3 times per property because they want more listings. And so people don't open every piece of mail that they get. Maybe they toss it out or they just ignore it. Now they're just using it more and more often. So I want to bring up one point. When I mentioned those names in the mastermind group, and I talked about Chris Winstead and I talked about Dustin Fox and Alicia Pless, what they did and what they've been doing with our tool is they've been doing this by hand. Like I'm doing it right now. They're downloading it. They're getting envelopes. They're handwriting envelopes. They're putting stamps on the envelopes and mailing it. Okay. And, you know, kudos to them because that's how they were getting listings. That's how Chris Winstead starts his own office because he was doing this as well as using other tools. Well, we started a new partnership about 2 months ago with this company up here that says Express Copy. It's the name of the copy or the name of the company. You can learn more about it here. But if you set up an account with these people, you can email this letter to them and you can say, I want you to send 200 pieces to this city or this zip code or 100 pieces. And I want them to have 5 or 10 years equity. So all the stuff that Chris and all of our other clients have been doing by hand, you can now do with a couple clicks of a button. If you want more listings, you definitely have to look at this. Okay. So Jason asked a question, how do we add listings? And so that's a bit of a different question, but we do want to answer it right away. When you sign up on your profile, we ask a question, what's your MLS email address? Often you're using an email address with your current broker, and it's not the same one that you started using with your MLS. But as long as those two emails match, if you have an active listing, we're going to sweep it into the account. Now, if you don't have an active listing, or for some reason there's no way that it's connecting, you can always come here to the listings page and there's a green button at the top that says add listing. And when you click that, there's an option for grab listing. So if it's your listing, you just drop in the zip code and you drop in the MLS ID and you pull it in. If it's not your listing and you're borrowing it, and you probably want to let a colleague know that you are borrowing it, just deselect this box so we don't make a YouTube video and grab it anyway. And it'll pull it in and it'll sit on this list and all the tools that I'm showing you are going to be created. Okay. So we talked about the nearby homeowner letter. Another great tool to use is the seller social media tool. And this is, I think I really recommend this. Now, Scott's kind of messed up. He's changed his profile, but you see this here. We email this to our agents. Anytime you have a listing, we send you this tool. And if you're like most of our great clients, they simply ignore it because they maybe don't understand the instructions or they don't feel comfortable using it. But our clients who do use it are just kind of super surprised of what's going on because actually, if you look up Alicia Pless, who I mentioned earlier, you'll notice that in the mastermind group, it's been a while ago, she says, what's going on? Why am I getting listing leads and I don't have anything mailed out and I don't have any ads running? So why am I getting listing leads? She just couldn't understand it. And I remember it was like on a weekend, she goes to the mastermind group and asks that question. And then I responded and I said, have you been using this tool? And she says, yes, I use it. I said, well, one of your clients' friends or family logged into Facebook and they saw this, right? And that's how it works. So we email this tool to you whenever you have a listing. If your listing hits when it is just listed, it's going to say our home is for sale. And you at your office are doing this to market and everything else, right? And so it's really the homeowner telling their friends and family that their home is for sale, right? Now you kind of want to have this in your listing presentation before you start using it. I think that's the thing that gets most agents kind of anxious about this. And certainly I know everybody's going to tell me that your clients are 100 years old and they don't have social media. And there's some truth to that as well, right? But we've actually had clients whose homeowners who were so old that they didn't have social media and they gave the tools to their friends, to their children, and their children put it out. The point of this is it isn't that when you click on it, that there is a page in the background that's going to offer a free home value. I mean, that is a great thing to, to have happen, right? No, that's not the point of what this is. The point is to let your current clients, friends and family and colleagues who they're sharing info with on Facebook to know that you are their realtor. And this one is for sale. So that's why it's missing the phone and email. It doesn't actually put that in when it's for sale. So I want to go over and show you what this tool looks like when the home is sold. Because it's really when the home is sold that realtors start to realize, oh my God, I should have been using this a while ago. So again, it's the seller social media tool and it looks like this. Oh, this is where he's helping. This is when you're helping the buyer buy the home. So let me see here. Okay, this is right. So this one is sold and it's a tool. So this is what it looks like. It says our home is sold and we want to recommend you at your office for doing an excellent job. Here's your phone number and email, if you need help. Now, if they click on this one, since the property is sold, when the call to action pops up, it's going to be offering a free home value. Okay. And that's really what it's about. But really and that's why Alicia was getting seller leads and she didn't know why. You see this pops up automatically. It's because we're letting people know, like, if it's sold, it affects your home value. So it's not a paid ad. When your client puts it on there, it might live there forever. And one of their relatives or friends might log into Facebook next month and go, oh, that's kind of interesting. And that's why that thing works. So first one here on the listings page is nearby homeowner letter. The second one is a seller social media tool. If you're an agent with hundreds or thousands of leads in your CRM, click this copy button, which will copy this. And it says on top, the home is sold or it's just listed or it's open house or whatever. And on the bottom, it affected your home value, right? And so this has got all kinds of seller and buyer lead capture, right? So copy and blast that out. Now, I know we have a lot of clients in Keller Williams. If you are here from Keller Williams and you're using Command, I don't think Command allows third-party content like this. But if you're with many of the other outfits out there using different CRMs, many CRMs allow you to copy and paste this. If you're sitting on hundreds or thousands of leads, you should be using this kind of tool at any status on any property, like once a week or every other week at least. So I mentioned earlier, short form video scripts. I think everybody needs to kind of get their brain around video. This is a bit of a side topic, but it's definitely related to getting listings. TikTok is out there making a bunch of noise, right? It's great if you like phone addiction, but it's based on video and it's been so effective that Instagram has moved over to Reels and Facebook now has stories and YouTube, which has always been a video platform, now has short videos, right? So I think if you're going to be in real estate and you think that social media is important, which doesn't mean you have to like it, but you realize that, half the world is using it, you probably want to pay attention to video. And that's what a video script is for. Now, this home is sold, so it's really talking about how you can get a free home value. So we're helping you, giving you the content to make your own videos. You do it on your smartphone, maybe get a tripod for your smartphone, and then you knock it up to all these platforms and start building your brand out there. Okay. Now, there are a couple of things here, or one more that I want to point out: postcards and door hangers. a lot of you are from great agencies. They're really into their branding, and that's cool. But most of the bigger houses, if they're giving you print, it doesn't capture leads. What it typically has is your picture and your phone number and like, call me if you ever need help. That's what most print marketing is for realtors. You may not be able to see it, but on the front of this is a QR code and a web address that they can go to go find out about this home. This is sold. So when they go there to check out that home, it's going to offer them a free home value, right? And the bottom half of this, there is a web address to go get your free home value. So straight up, like that affected your home value, go get it. If you're doing any kind of print, you need to be using our tools if you want leads. And if you want seller leads, you definitely should be using our sold marketing, right? So there's one more thing we can do with a listing, and that is to run a Facebook ad, right? And this is to capture seller leads. All right. So when a property is sold and this one is sold, all you got to do is click here and it's all pre-written, right? It's going to have your business page on Facebook sponsoring it. It's going to say that home is sold. It affects your home value. Click here to get your free home value. All you got to do is click create an ad. Okay. So those are the things you should do with your listing. And as a reminder, when I was talking about our mastermind group, and Dustin says, I get 2 to 3 more leads, more listings for every listing I market. He's doing these things. He's using these tools that I've shown you. Okay. So that's on the listing side. There's also a landing page section and there's an ad section that are really important here. So on landing pages, you can create unlimited landing page. You see this green button, it says create landing page. You can click that. And what we're looking for is Property Valuation Plus, which is our free home value page, right? Now, we also have, you can create your own custom seller landing pages down here, but this one is the one that most people want to use. We even have an Empty Nester Plus, which offers a free home value, and just an Empty Nester if you don't have a free home value. Now, I don't know, is anybody here from Canada today? Because Canada does not have free home values. They just don't even offer up that kind of data. So an empty nester without the word plus is going to help you getting there. So just for the Canadians, that's a really great tool for you to have. But when you're here and you want this Property Valuation Plus, you type in the name of the town. Somebody was saying they were from Tampa, right? Or Northern Tampa. And I know there's all kinds of towns up there. If you type in the name of your town or your neighborhood and you click create landing page, boom, it's going to create a landing. Okay. And it's going to drop you on it on this page right here. And it looks like this, generic. Okay. Little laptop, a little phone, a piece of paper, a cup of coffee. Right. And I remember when we picked this, we wanted something that, is generic because you guys are all over the country. But let me explain, a landing page does not work well when it's generic. Because really think about what you're asking. Can I have your address and your contact information and you have no idea of who I am? Like that's what you're trying to achieve on internet marketing, right? There's nothing wrong with that. It works, but you got to kind of use a little bit of thought on this one. And let me explain what I'm talking about. Let's see here. Now, I mentioned earlier, I set up all the team accounts and the office accounts around the country. And so years ago, I set up Coldwell Banker Summit. And when we do this, I give them training calls just like this, but it's for their office. So they all get up online and it all works out. And a month after I do the rollout calls with that office, they call me back and said, Vince, this is awesome. We're getting leads all over the place. But the number one landing page for home values is the one that has the picture of the Summit Diner on the back, right? And that totally makes sense to me. And that's why I'm sharing this with you. A lot of realtors feel like if I'm going to make a landing page for Tampa, I'm going to put the new McMansion, the new development there, right? But not everybody's home is like that. And so what you really want is a landmark that helps people understand that their area. Now, this is an old kind of converted railroad car. right? It's got that kind of look. And you go in there and you know this place. It's like this is where you get your greasy potatoes and eggs on the morning and bacon and all that. And that's super cool. And we all love that. But basically the point is if you know the Summit Diner, you know Summit, New Jersey. And you need to be thinking, what is that picture on the back of my landing page for my town that's going to speak to people to establish some trust because they don't know me, right? And that's why we drop you here first. And we drop you right here where it says upload image. And you can just upload an image, get one that's 2000 pixels wide, use this green button, upload it, then click it, and boom, it's going to be in there and you're good to go. So once you've done that, there is also another cool tool that I would recommend. If you click on edit tools, and remember, this is not a bad way to do it either, kind of a rooftop kind of look or whatever. Click on advanced options and get the print marketing, because this is a letter that looks just like that other one, except it's not about a listing. And you don't even have to borrow a listing. You can just get a picture, right? Get a photograph, create the landing page, and now you've got a tool to market, and you can mail it out every couple of weeks or every month. I'm waiting for it to download and we'll talk about it. There's really only one thing you need to do with it, and that is just to put some stats in it. So let's see if this is going to work for me. Let me have a sip of coffee while we're waiting. Yeah. Doesn't seem to be working in my favor. Let's try this one more time. Print marketing. What's the problem here, guys? Well, I don't know if you could see it while it's doing its thing. It's basically creating a letter, not about a listing, but about a neighborhood. And let me see if I can, gosh darn it. Let me refresh and see if I can do that again. Doesn't seem to be. Print marketing. Let's do this one. Hopefully it works. When we do this, there's basically a little content right underneath the picture. And it says, this many homes sold, right? This many homes sold last month. That's 30 for, the year. And then you want to kind of add those numbers, right? The average price is here. You don't want to make this more than one page. You want them to scan quickly because it's going to say, hey, that affected your home value. Go over there to get your free home value. So these are the tools related to landing pages that are available. So you definitely want to create a landing page for every farm market you got going. Okay. Now, from there, now we can talk about ads, right? We've talked about marketing listings. We've talked about landing pages. What about ads? And I think it was Jill from Tampa, right? And you said that you're new and you captured already some seller leads. Jill, if you're still here, what kind of ad did you run? What were you doing there? And if she is here and she's going to answer, I'm going to show you the 3 kinds of Facebook ads that you should be running to get more seller leads. One is click on Facebook, create a listing ad. Now this should be something that's later stage, right? Sold, under contract, active contingent, whatever. A landing page ad, just like the landing page that we just created for home values, you could write an ad and drive people to that landing page. And the last is the PDF guide ad. Okay. So this is Facebook, and you can also use Google to do that. So let's go down Facebook and let's start at the top where it's listing ad. And I'm going to choose a property. Now I showed you earlier that I'm going to do this one that's pending. And I'm going to do a landing page, and I'm going to do create an ad. So basically the ad is written. Okay. And I don't know why we changed this to a $35 ad. It used to be a $50 ad. So let me explain to you what all of this means. Okay. If you choose a home that is later stage, it's going to be sponsored by your business page up here, right? It's going to look at the city where it's in, and it's going to pop that in there, and it's going to put a minimum 15-mile radius. Now you might want to expand that if you want more people to see that. But when a home is pending or under contract or active contingent or sold, these are trying to get listing leads, right? It's saying, that affects your home. So I kind of feel like this is some sort of error, but this typically is a $50 ad. Okay. I want to explain to you about this so that you can all kind of understand it. It's a $50 ad or a $35 ad. It's 7 days. That means it's going to expire in 7 days. So it can expire when your money runs out or when the time runs. Okay. And here is kind of something to think of. When you run an ad, I don't know if you know this, Facebook will say, okay, we're going to review it. It's under review. And they look to make sure you haven't done anything wrong, but they also set a price on your cost per lead. Okay. And your cost per lead is, it depends on what you're doing. If you're running a sold ad, like this home is sold, this one is not sold, it's pending. Those leads often cost around $6 each. Okay. So if you divide 6 into 50, it's about 9, right? So that's one data point you should know. Running a sold ad is kind of about about $6. If I run a landing page ad for free home values, and let's do one down here, Granite Bay, and I kind of do it this way. Let's give it a second. I'm going to have to type in the area, right? The other one was automatic, but this one isn't. So I got to type in the area, Granite Bay. And now it's a $50 ad. But this kind of home value, like what is your home worth? This ad has been used for nearly 10 years. There are a lot of companies that have these kinds of landing pages. So Facebook is familiar with this and they charge the most. So this lead, I have seen these leads cost $12 to $15 per lead. Same $50 ad, but if they're charging you $15, you're going to get 3 leads, right? So, but that's still something of there are some pluses and minuses to this. The plus is the branding. Okay. Everybody knows you can offer free home value. They're going to see your company up here sponsor this. So that's good for your branding. The minus is the targeting is horrible. We're going to talk about that a little bit later. And then the last kind of ad is the PDF guide ad. Okay. Now, if you click on this, you're going to see that there's 40 for buyers and 40 for sellers. So you can decide which ones you want. There's all kinds. And honestly, I think everybody should be running a PDF guide ad at least once a week because every page of every one of these is branded to you, right? Here's one, 5 dangers of overpricing. That's probably a relatively good topical thing there, right? To talk about. You'd have to type in the name of the town and you could kind of think about that radius is how far do I actually want to drive for work? Because that's how far I want to reach, right? So 30 miles. Now, this is a PDF guide app. You can see right there, you're going to download this report and Facebook often charges $10 per lead. So you can sort of expect 5 leads. There's $50, 7 days, right? That's how that works. Now I'm going to back up and I was showing you earlier a listing ad for a home that was pending. And I was talking about it as sold, but I want to kind of bring this back up about pending and under contract. So you can run an ad on a home that is pending or under contract or active contingent, any of the later stage other than sold. Come on, don't do it like that. And Facebook does not know how to price that lead. Okay. So what happens is they don't charge you a lot. And we've had clients during the summer running ads on Facebook for under contract homes and getting seller leads for $2.38. Okay. So if you think about the home valuation landing page costing $15 a lead, as opposed to $2.38, running home ads that are pending or under contract might make more sense if you want to build a database of homeowners. I hope that's making sense of what I'm saying. Let's find out. I see some questions. Sure. Yeah, you had, oh, so Jill ran free home value ads, and that's how she got her leads. So she was running a home value ad and you got a couple of leads and that kind of worked. So let me show you, let's go back to that and let's go. So the kind of ad, Jill, if you don't remember from the call today, she's been with us for a couple of weeks and she ran a home value. Was it like this, Jill, just a generic free home value, or did you create one for a city? I'm just going to do this generic one while we wait for her answer. But I'm going to tell you, like, that doesn't even work very well. Like, but he's already got this one customized for Granite Bay. So if it says something like a neighborhood here, you probably want to make sure it says, what's your Granite Bay, it should yeah, let's see. The type that my son help. It said Jill send help. So she doesn't know what so he might have done something super generic like this. It wouldn't say Granite Bay in that great banner. He would just say, what is your homework now? And Jill, maybe you just lucked out and got some sellers, right? So let's imagine when you come to us and you're brand new to us and you haven't customized this, it just looks like this. What is your homework? And it has that generic little driveway in the background and it doesn't say Granite Bay, it just says, get your free home back. If you do that in your area, like Tampa, and I know she's not in Tampa, but and you publish it. Oh, shoot. Oh, I'll have to go. I made that live. We'll have to go there and stop that. I think I actually just pushed it live. So let's go back here and turn it off. I gotta remember here. Give me a second. See if that thing went live already. So when it goes live, let's go look at it here. Normally I just hover over the button. Yeah. So it's on and you can see, nothing's on. I'm going to just turn it off. So we're not having an active app. So going generic, like without any area, doesn't make sense. What a lot of our clients do is they create a landing page for a particular area, right? And I think Granite Bay is an area that Scotland's in. So let's kind of do this the way that we should do it. So you've gone to the landing page section, you created a landing page for your neighborhood. Scott's got a picture of some house, which I don't recommend you do, but in Granite Bay, they're all kind of new construction. So maybe it's close. But here is the real problem with Facebook ads in this, for this kind of ad, right? So Jill, I'm glad you got 2 leads. Maybe you can improve this. Here is the Jill. Yes. When you run a PDF guide ad, they can automatically download it. They have to give you their name, phone number, and email first, but they automatically download it. So the radius here, I cannot type. Okay. That's the number one problem. And when I go here, let me just show you Granite Bay. So Granite Bay is a little part north of Sacramento, up north California. And this is Granite Bay on a map. Okay. This is a 15-mile radius right here of this ad. So that means there's a whole heck of a lot of people that are going to see this ad. And that's why you don't get really great results. Okay. I think that is literally the big reason you cannot target. And we've been talking 4 years ago, you could say, I want people who own a home in that town or in that zip code. And I want to make sure they own it, right? Or that they live in that town. Like that's how well you could target. But Facebook has had some problems with illegal ads and HUD's gotten in their business and you cannot target that. So this is a good time to talk about one of my favorite resources that I mentioned at the beginning of the call, which is our super awesome YouTube channel. And if you go back here about 4 or 5 months and just look for the title, you're going to see that I have some calls that say something about the best way to get listings from Facebook and a new strategy to get high quality listings from Facebook. I go into some detail about how you can buy a custom audience from, you can get it from sometimes your title partners, or you can go buy it at Remine or whatever. And then you come over here to your Facebook ads page and you create a custom audience. So While Facebook doesn't allow you to target with their tools, you go here where this blue button is and you create a custom audience and you call it Granite Bay Homeowner, right? Or whatever, Tampa homeowners, right? You get the list from Remine or you get it from whatever, Home Snap or whoever's going to sell it to you, maybe your title company. You go down here because this is going to show you what your spreadsheet should look like, right? It should be titled like that. It should have that stuff there. And then you upload it and you import it. And that custom audience will live in your Facebook account. Even if you stop working with us, it's always going to be there and you can use it in the future to run ads, right? And on our platform, you can decide, hey, I want to run whatever I want to run a PDF guide on divorce, because maybe somebody's going to get divorced in my neighborhood at some point, and I'm going to type in Tampa, and that's fine. But if I had a list and I click on retarget current leads and I called my list Tampa homeowners, it would appear right here. Okay. If you know how to spell. Sorry. And so it would target everybody on that list, which because you got it from somebody else. It's people who own a home in Tampa for more than 2 years or 5 years, whatever. So Jason is saying no blue create button next to the 2 green buttons. And that's because, Jason, when you're on this page, there's probably a yellow message that says accept the custom audience terms. And when you click on that, you see here that there's some kind. So this one says we cannot create a custom audience because you're not connected to your account properly. And if that's the case, copy this message and give it to support and they'll give the instructions to how to fix it. So you either haven't accepted the custom audience terms. And then once you do that, you need to refresh the page. And then it has another green button that says turn on retargeting. And that's really what you're after. 1, creating an audience, but 2, retargeting. And then the third is it's going to say, this is not connected properly. And then support can help you do that. Okay. So that's all about Facebook. That might have gotten a little convoluted, but you need to understand that. So let's talk about Google. Before we drive into Google, I want you really to understand a little bit, broadly speaking, about the internet and these 2 big juggernauts, Facebook and Google. Okay. Now, Facebook is cool. It's cool for adults. The kids don't like it. They like TikTok or whatever because they like to dance in front of each other. But on Facebook, 70% of American adults spend 40 minutes every day looking at what their friends are doing. There's my buddy doing something, eating. Here's my friend over there in Europe, right? Like you see everything that everybody's doing there, what they're eating. My friend had a baby. This is what Facebook is all about. So because of that, everybody is spending, 40 minutes every day, every adult. And you're not selling homes to kids right now, I imagine. You're probably selling homes for and to adults. So that's why Facebook is a very important place. Now I have an ad blocker here. I'm going to pause it here because I just don't like looking at ads. And so I have that plugged in, but if I unpause it, yeah. So this is what Facebook really looks like. Here's my friend back in Portland, and right number 2 post is an ad from Wall Street Journal. Okay. If I keep going down this page, here's my friend running, and here's whatever, and here's my friends doing whatever. And then here's an ad from the local museum, right? When you're running your ads, they are just interspersed inside here. Here's an ad from our local basketball team, right? So when you're running ads, they're there. And because people are spending 40 minutes a day, they're looking at their phone at this page. They're looking at it at work. Half of you are probably looking at Facebook while I'm just talking here, right? That's just what Facebook is. People spend time there. But let me tell you what people don't do on Facebook. They don't go to this search box and say, how do I sell my home? You know where they go? They go to Google, right? They go to Google. That's where 80% of all searches begin. It's on Google. 86%, right? And right now, the biggest trending surge is, related to selling a home. So are you positioned to take advantage of that? Because that's a true statement, right? It may not be those exact words, but selling a house, all these things are important. Let me give you some exact terms. And I'm going to share this with you. Top terms for home sellers. Let me try this. Oh, that's the wrong word. Tip. Sorry. Top keyword for real estate. Yeah. This is a really good article. Now, you don't have to think much about what I'm going to show you, but I think it's worth understanding. I'm going to send this to you, and I think you should look at it because I think that for any business that you're in, any business, you have to have a Google strategy, right? I mean, unless you're just selling hay out in the middle of the country and everybody knows you, you probably are going to want to have a Google strategy. And this is an article from October of 2022. And these are the top keyword searches for home buyers as of October of this year. So your Google strategy should sort of have something connected to this. This is what people are typing in. If you keep scrolling down this article, these are the top searches, keywords that people are typing in to get a home, right? So you probably want to be having this on your mind. This is what people are searching on. And they're not searching on Facebook. They're searching right here on Google. So if they're using those terms, are you here on page 1 or are you on page 30 of Google? Because that's going to affect your income. If you're here in our system and you go to create a landing page ad and you say, yeah, I want to create a landing page for Granite Bay and create an ad. Well, you can kind of understand what's about to happen here. We're going to create an ad. We're pre-writing the ad. You can see where we're going to send them to by clicking view link. And you recognize that now, right? And you got a $5 a day budget. I guess it's a week long or no, it looks like we're doing a month long, $5 a day. This is really new, guys. So you are going to need to type in Granite Bay. So if you're doing this, please let us know in the mastermind group how it's working for you. I don't really know if a $5 ad works because this is not even 60 days old. So I don't have enough feedback, but I can tell you what I have just described to you about keywords and where people go to ask questions on the internet. That is 100% accurate, correct data. Okay. So does a $5 a day ad work? Well, I don't know. If it were me, I'd probably punch that up to $20 a day because I think that typically speaking, ads cost more on Google than they do on Facebook, right? So if I've told you that a seller lead costs $15 on Facebook or $2.38, but for that kind of home valuation ad, I'd be thinking of $15. I would probably have a $15 a day budget, right? That's just where you got to kind of see and understand what's going on there. Let's see if we have any more questions. When you are sending us things, where should we find them? I do not see them in handouts. Oh, Jerry, I'm going to respond to you right now. And I'm going to send this article again. So there's a little chat panel where you type this in. And I'm going to send something that's going to respond to you and everybody else. It's probably going to be an orange button that's going to blink right about now. If you see this orange button pop up, you can click on that and that will take you to where this link is. Okay. If you're seeing this on a call, look up the word Virtuance top real estate SEO keywords for 2022. This is really important. And I think it'll help you understand what Google's all about. It's the beginning. It's the beginning of it. But the point is, that's where people go ask for answers. They don't go for credit. They might ask their friends where they're eating, right, on Facebook, but they're not asking people, how do I sell my home on Facebook? they go to Google. And you want to be in the position of taking advantage of that kind of trend, which is a real trend, real time right here. Okay. So let's see. I think that's all the ways. I think that's all the ways we can capture seller leads. We do have 80 PDF guides. So there's a lot of ads you can run. There are the tools on listings. There are the landing pages that I mentioned. Oh, one other thing that I totally forgot to mention. We almost should have started the call, but we're here. You need to all immediately, like after this call, go to the listings page and download this listing presentation. Okay. Now, before you do that, you might want to make sure that your profile is set up. And let's just go over here. When you go to appearance, you put your logo here. You can change your colors here. This color here, if I change this, got to change the colors over here kind of thing. But you want to make sure and do that, get all your branding straight, and then go over to your listings page and then click create listing presentation. So we talked about how to capture leads, right? Like all these ways, Facebook, Google, print, your CRM, landing pages, all this, right? If you get in a conversation, you need to take this with you. You need to download this and be prepared to leave it behind. This is all the ways that we're going to help you market that home. And this thing is about 27 pages long. It's really tough to compete against this thing, right? So get familiar with this as soon as you can. Like, honestly, I would download it and look at this, leave it on your desk so you know, like, this is the powerhouse that you're going to help people if they want to sell a home with. You leave this with them, right? You're branded on every page. So everybody, are there any questions about anything that we've discussed here? Let's see here. That is on the top of the listings page, right next to the add listing button. It says create listing presentation. Jerry, you're not seeing that. There, yeah, not sure, Jerry, where that is, but you might want to write this down. Guys, if you have any questions, let me know. These are the tools that I've been talking about today. Look up virtuance.com, top real estate SEO keywords. This is the last thing I shared with you. I also shared with you our YouTube channel. If you go to YouTube and you type in listings to leads, all one word, you will see our little logo with a house. Click on the word listings to leads and go to the videos page. I like the videos page because everything that we do and the most current stuff is always at the top. Okay. That's something that I gave to everybody today. I also shared leadgenwebinars.com. And leadgenwebinars.com is where you sign up for live classes like our class today. This class has been recorded. It will be in the mastermind group either today or tomorrow, and it will be put on YouTube immediately as soon as it goes in the mastermind. So are there any other questions? Nope. Well, everybody, thanks so much. Thanks for joining me. I hope this is making sense. It changes. I can tell you this. Thank you, Jason. This month, December, right now, is a good time to run ads on Facebook because a few weeks ago, everybody started eating turkey around the country, and half of your competitors have been taking a nap until spring. That actually brings down the cost of your ads, your leads. So definitely, if you want to get into Facebook ads, this is a good time to get cheap leads. And oh, look at that skating. Review this. Go look at those names like Alicia Plus and Dustin Fox and Chris Winstead on our mastermind group. I think not only it's what they're saying, it's what our other clients are chatting about in those questions that I think can really give you some insight of how all this can work for you. Enjoy the holidays, everybody. Keep safe. I hear cold weather's coming. Stay home, keep warm. Our support team is awesome. Go check them out whenever you have questions. It's at the bottom left of our account, and get in our mastermind group. Please share your feedback, whatever is working or not working. It just helps all of us. Take care, everybody. Thanks for hanging out with me today.